Alrighty, welcome back, boys and girls. It's your main math man, Mr. Shank, coming to you live from Walker Graham Middle School. And what we're going to be working with in this video is just going to be, drawing out this histogram and answering some questions that go along with it. So this is just an example. So again, you don't have to use these exact numbers, but at least try them out. So let's say you gathered these temperatures from these cities, and now you want to create a scatter plot, or excuse me, yeah, a scatter plot. Let's create a histogram first. There we go. Let's create a histogram based on this data. And the way it works is like this. I have on my y-axis, I have the number of cities is on my y-axis, and that just means that okay, how many cities go along with these temperatures. Again, these are the intervals on my x-axis, and so any cities with temperatures between 0 and 20, I can tally up and go along here, and any temperatures with, or any cities with temperatures between 21 degrees and 40 degrees, I'd place there. So let's actually count these up. So how many cities do I have with 0 to 21? I actually have none, so I'm just going to leave that one blank. But what I can do is for this second one, I can count up how many cities do I have with 21 to 40 degrees. Well, let's see. I have Berlin, London, Dublin, Stockholm are all there. So what I can actually do is I can take and I'm going to fill in that I have four cities. I have four cities that are between 21 degrees and 40 degrees. And the key part to this is you want to make sure you're saying, okay, it goes up to 4. All right. So now what I can do is this. I can say now how many cities are between 41 degrees and 60 degrees. And so what I can do is I can count out, I have Paris, I have Madrid, Rome, and that's it. So again, only between 41 and 60. So for this one, I have to say that I have three. I have three cities that are in the interval of 41 to 60 degrees. And so now after that, I can say, well, how many cities are in the interval or temperature between 61 and 80 degrees? So let's count these up. Well, I have 71, which is Guatemala. I have 73, and those are the only two, again, there's only two that are between that amount. And that's totally fine. Again, it's just a different spread of values. And then finally, any values between 81 and 100 I'm going to include. So let's say 81. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have 5 cities that are between the values of 81 and 100 degrees. And so let's see how this works. So I'm going to take and use this graph, and or this histogram, I'm going to answer some questions that go along with it. So now it says, if a circle graph were used to draw the same information, what percentage of the circle would show the number of temperatures between 41 degrees and 60 degrees? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that wonderful Desmos calculator to calculate some things. So first I need to say, all right, well, I'm looking for this interval. I'm looking between 41 and 60 degrees. And so that's my interval of 41 to 60, and how many that go along with it. And so there are 3. So there's 3 that go along with it. So that means I have to have it as a fraction first. So I'm actually going to answer this number 2 ahead of time as well, because it says how many in total cities were there. Well, I should have that there are 14. So I'd say there are 14 total cities, which means 3 of them were between the temperatures of 41 and 60. And so what I need to do is I need to take and use that Desmos calculator. I can type that fraction in, and I'm going to say 3 out of 14. And then I can take and say, well, that's going to be about, well, let's actually take, I can take and round my answer. I want to round my answer to the second decimal place because I'm looking to change that to a percent. And so I can take my value and multiply it times 100 to get my percent. So I'm going to say that is going to be that 21%. So it's going to be about 21. It's going to be about 21%. And again, I got that from writing my fraction again in the numerator. So again, let me write it like this. It's the number of cities with 41 to 60 degrees over the total number of cities. So it's very similar to that probability, but it's just, switching between a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. So now what I can do is this. Let's find out how many more temperatures of 41 degrees are there more than the other interval of 0 to 20. So let's actually find that. So let me get rid of this stuff real quick. Again, if you ever need to pause, rewind, replay, any of that is certainly in there as well. So I'm saying, okay, first I need to find my first amount, which is that 41 to 60. And I said that there is 3. And then in my next amount of 0 to 20, there is 0. There's actually 0 in there. And so I can say, well, 3 minus 0 is just 3. So there's 3 more cities that have temperatures of 41 degrees to 60 degrees than there are of cities of 0 degrees to 20 degrees. So now, setting that aside, I can have for myself like this. I can read this problem out, so let me clear this out for you guys. And so now for this one, for number 4, it says if a circle graph were used to display the same information, what percentage of the circle would show the number of people winning the lottery that are ages 40 to 49? So let's find that out. So I'm going to say, all right, I find where 40 to 49 is, and I need to find the value that goes along with it. So I'm going to go up and over and say, okay, there's 6 right there. So it has that there are 6 people. There are 6 people that are ages 40 to 49. But how many in total? So again, make sure you're seeing just like that number 1 that we did, we have to find the total and make a fraction out of it. So we're going to have the percent. So let me do it like this. So we have 2 people here. I have 5 here. We said we have 6 for the 40 to 49. We have 8 here. We have 5 here. And we have 4 in this interval. And so now in total, let me actually double check, making sure using that Desmos calculator, I can do 2 plus 5 plus that 6 plus 8 plus 5 plus 4. So in total, so let me say this correctly. So in total, there are 30 people that were surveyed. So now, what do we do? Well, we're saying, okay, we can take and say, well, how many of those people, what percentage of those people were this age range of 40 to 49? And so what we do is we take that 6 over the 30, and again, we can divide it and get a decimal value. And so I'm going to do just that. So I can take 6 over 30. I have that decimal value. I can take that answer times 100 to get a So I'm going to say this is equal to 0.2, which is the same as 20%. So I'd say for this one, it is 20%. Again, I wrote that fraction using so this is, let me write this a little bit better. Again, this value is the number of people in the ages of 40 to 49, and the bottom number is the total number of people. All right, so now in number 5, let me actually go back and hide that real quick. So again, make sure you guys can see it. So again, it says in the total, there are 30 people. Again, I got the 6 from the number of people in the ages of 40 to 49. 30 is the total number of people. And then I said 6 over 30 is 0.2, which is the same as 20%. And then lastly, I have this. It says, how many more black cherry trees have a height of 75 to 80 feet more than the 70 to 75 feet? So let's highlight and identify what we need. So let's say 75 to 80 feet. So it is this section here. And then I have 70 to 75 is this section here. So let me write the values that go along with that. So I have 70 to 75, that is 10, where the 70 to 75 is only 8. So very simply, I can do just this. I can take and say I have 10 minus 8, which is 2. So I'd say there is a difference of 2 trees. Again, make sure you're reading those problems carefully, and as always, super slam that subscribe button.